I don't know what to do. Um, you know what? I maybe I should end this live and start over. Good morning to that one viewer. Not sure who it is, but good morning. My first time actually coming live. I've never done this before, and I don't do lives because of the fact that I don't feel comfortable in front of the camera yet. Anyways, I came live because I have these mirrors on the wall right here. I'm trying to turn the camera. So I took some off yesterday. I'm trying to take these ones off. I did go on YouTube to try and figure out how to take them off, but that was not successful. So I came up with my own method, which messed the wall up. As you can see, the wall is a mess. But I got me some knives. I put it behind the mirror and I'm trying to slowly work it in. Like I said, the wall is damaged, I know, and it will have to be fixed. But thank God my brother-in-law does construction, so I'll have to call him in. But anyways, I just want to get these off of the wall. I use double-sided tape to put them up in 2021, thinking that it would have been easier for me to take them down after using double-sided tape because I didn't want to damage the wall. That was my reason for using the two-sided tape. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to damage the wall, so let me just tape the mirrors up. I don't know why I chose to tape them up. Why I didn't, I mean, research before I used the double-sided tape, but I used it anyways, and when I was trying to take them down, they just wouldn't move. So me being who I am, I went on YouTube, came on YouTube, and tried to figure out how to take them down. I saw a bunch of videos, none was helpful. So I came up with my own thing. Like I said, got some off already. 4 pieces came off because this wall was all mirror, basically. Because I love mirrors, right? So this wall was all mirrors, and yeah, but I wanted to use my camera stand right there to put the phone on so I could do this part. But for some reason, I don't know which one of my kids decided to mess it up yesterday. So it's all messed up. There is nothing to hold, like right here, there is nothing to hold the phone. So this is pretty much useless. And I have to do this quick before the baby wakes up. Everybody's in school now, so I want to do it quick before the baby wakes up. But before I start my day, I usually like praying. So I'm going to read Psalms 91 and see if I can invite the presence of God into this place before I start doing anything, because I have to do it before the baby wakes up. And yeah, I have to do it before the baby wakes up. I actually have my three youngest here. My three youngest is here with me. They're sick. I am sick too. The baby's not sick, but I have to do everything before he wakes up. So I'm going to start off by reading Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High. Wait, can I share my life? How do I share my own life? Okay. Just sharing the live, guys. Or guy. I don't know if I can play music. I don't know. So I'm just sharing the live, guys, because I'm not going to be on here for long. I'm just trying to come out of my comfort zone. I'm just trying to be more braver because usually, like I said, I don't do lives. I don't feel comfortable doing lives. But last night, yesterday, let me just backtrack. Yesterday, I went into a meeting, okay? It wasn't supposed to go in my favor. And I wasn't gonna go because I'm like, you know what? It's not gonna work out in my favor, so I'm not gonna waste my time. But I decided to go. And when I went there, before I went, I prayed before I went, you know? And then, good morning, Damien. Good morning, Sissy Boo. I prayed before I went and I called my sister. Yes, Michelle, I called you. And we prayed together before I went. And when I went into the meeting, like I said, it wasn't supposed to go in my favor. But while I was there, I was praying in my head because I'm like, God, this is not for me. And like, I don't know if you've ever cried on your inside, but that's what I was doing. I was literally crying on my inside. And I'm like, God, like, I'm tired. And I have other stuff that was on my mind because you know that as human beings we go through stuff at times, so I have other stuff that was bothering me, right? So yeah, I wasn't my head wasn't in a good space, you know. I didn't have a, you know, whatever. But I prayed, and while I was praying, I literally hear like somebody talking in my head telling me what to say. And I was afraid to say it at first, but when I did say it, what God told me to say, it it worked out in my favor. So after that meeting, I came back and I was sitting right here, and I was giving God thanks because I was looking back on my life as a child growing up, the struggles. I was raised in Jamaica. Y'all, like, Jamaicans know how hard it is down there at times, how hard it gets at times. And when I look back in my life and see how my life was, I was not raised with I had no mother nor father to, you know, like, raise me, but God did. And when I look and see how God has been carrying me my entire life. Good morning, Mrs. Jones. When I see how God has been carrying me my entire life, I started bawling, like I was crying, and I'm like, God, like, I don't deserve this. Why do you keep doing this for me? Why do you keep coming through for me? I don't want to cry. So, like, I'm saying, God, why do you keep showing up and showing out for me? You know, always coming through for me, even when people who I thought would have been in my corner backs out. God is always there. And while I was there worshiping God and telling Him how grateful I am of Him being a part of my life, I heard a voice say, "Take your phone up, start recording. You can thank me privately. You must be able to thank me publicly too." Like I said, I don't like coming live because when I come live, I see all my imperfections, and I'm wondering what people on the other side of the screen is saying about me. But I need to stop that. So that's my point. That's one of my point reason for coming live this morning. And besides that, I want to show you all this. I'm trying to take down the blood of Jesus. The mirrors off of the wall. I've been trying to take it off since yesterday. I took some off, 4 pieces off, and that's what I did. Not a good job. I made a mess of the wall, but that's beside the point. Them still a come down. And yeah, but I heard a voice say, "Take your phone up and start recording and talk about what I've been doing for you and upload it." And I was like, God, no. There's no way I'm going to make a video bawling on YouTube. I'm like, people are gonna take it the wrong way. They're gonna, you know, people are gonna be talking all kinds of issues. And I'm like, God, I cannot do that. That was around after 12 yesterday. But for some reason, even 1:30, I could hear like I was getting a beating. And I'm like, God, if this is you, let me do it. So I did that video. And then afterwards, um, I heard the voice again telling me to come live this morning. Of course, I woke up early, got the kids ready for school, but then I did not want to come live, right? But I decided to at least come on live because I'm like, nobody's gonna watch. It's my first time. I am not like a big YouTuber yet. And I say yet because I know God's gonna take me there one day. So I'm like, nobody's gonna watch me. But I'm like, you know what? Let me come live anyways. So before I start, let me saying anything, let me just read Psalms 91 and I want y'all to declare it. Read it with me. If you don't have a Bible, I'll read for both me and you guys. So let's just read that part of it. This scripture, I mean. Good morning, sis. Good to see you. Good to see you, Colette. So I'm going to read Psalms 91 to start off my day. So let me go ahead. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. And you know what? While we're reading this, we're going to replace the I and whatever with our names because we're declaring this. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. I will say, I, Tanisha, will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver me from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. God will cover me with His feathers, and under His wings will I trust. His truth shall be my shield and buckler. I will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at my side, and 10,000 at my right hand, but it shall not come nigh me or near me. Because I'm trying to be as personalize the scripture. Only with mine eyes will I behold and see the reward of the wicked, because I have made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, my habitation. Hallelujah. There shall no evil befall me, neither shall any plague come nigh my dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over me, Tanisha, to keep me in all my ways. They shall bear me up with their hands, lest I dash my foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon, I, Tanisha, will tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and dragon will I trample under my feet. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will God satisfy me and show me His salvation. Here endeth a portion of the reading of God's most holy word. God has been showing me His salvation since the beginning of time. And like I said in my last video that I uploaded, I remember 2019 when my husband had died. I had just given birth a month and a half before that. So when he died, my baby was a month and change old. Plus I had 5 other kids. My oldest at the time was 10 years old. Was it 10 or 11 years old? And I remember this one girl called me. And when she called me, give me 1 second, I'm going to share this live. When she called me, she said, I heard what had happened. Is it true? And I said to her, yes, it's true. Because I was bawling, because even though, like, I don't, like, even to this day, I don't understand what happened. Because when I met that man, he was good to me. Like, I love him with every fiber of my being. And I know somewhere along the line, he loved me too, right? And we were going on so well, like everybody was talking about us. But his family did not like the fact that he came to Jamaica and marry me. Let me put that out there. They didn't like that. So they were the only ones that were complaining about him coming down and marrying me. But we didn't care anyways because like I said, I loved him and he loved me. So I'm like, you know what? To God be the glory. Let's put our marriage in the palm of God's hand and leave it there. And everything was going well. And then the moment I set foot in, no, the year when he came down to Jamaica to bring me back here with him, I saw a different side of him. But I'm like, okay, maybe it's a phase. But when I got here, everything got worse. My babies are waking up one by one. Like I said, I have, for those of you who are just joining, the older kids are in school, the younger ones that are sick are home, two younger ones, kindergarten, and no, kindergarten, and one is in grade one, and the baby sleeping. But yes, like I said, when it was good to me. We were happy at one point. He was very respectful, but when I got here, everything changed. And that's when I started seeing a different side of him. I prayed about it. He did some horrible stuff to me, but I wanted to, because maybe, you know what? Maybe because of the fact that I grew up seeing my mother and my father together. When I was older, they broke up, and that damaged me to an extent. Like physically, I had a nervous breakdown. I couldn't hold nothing without my hands doing this. Like I was constantly shaking, shaking, shaking. And I told myself that I will never, my mother actually moved out and my father decided to be there for us, pretty much. And I told myself that I'll never walk out on my kids, never. And I'll never walk out on my family. I will fight for my family. So I fought for my family the best I can. Most of the times, the way I fought was on my knees. Like I prayed constantly. So 2019, when he died, I was kind of mad at God. I'm like, I didn't ask you for this. Guys, like the live. If you like what I'm saying, just give me a like or two, please. Please. Anyways, or interact with me, talk to me so I can know that you're listening. Or if what I'm saying makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, you can tell me to shut up and tell me what you want me to talk about, okay? Anyways, like I said, I he changed, and I was praying, asking God for the change, but then he died. And when he died, it hit me because I loved him and I wanted him to change. And I think I was in love. I loved him. I loved that man more than I loved myself, because some things that I put up with, sometimes I consider myself an idiot, a fool, because I'm like, how could you not walk away? What made you stay? But at times I remember my kids. At one point, I was doing it for my kids, and 2019 was the year I looked in myself and I'm like, if I'm not happy, how can I raise kids that are happy? If What's the point in raising a child into a dysfunctional household? So I decided to, for the one person that like, thank you, I appreciate you. Anyways, I am like, what's the point? I'm done and whatever. And when he died, I lost it. Yeah. What do you want? You want me to come give it to you? Or you want to get it yourself? Okay. He wants me to come give it to him. I wish he was going to say he'll get it himself. But yeah, like I said, guys, I started cussing. Like, I'm like, God, why did you do this? Open the blinds, please. I'm like, why did you do this? This is not what I asked you for. I asked you to change him. But it wasn't until later on, later on, I realized that God does not force change on us. God does not force change on nobody. If you want to change and you ask Him to help you, He will. You know what I mean? And if we refuse to be the best version of ourselves, then why should God chase us down and change us if we don't want to be changed? Which one do you want, Kawai? Which one do you want? This one? The one that you had yesterday? This one?
Sure.
So you don't want to cook food or nothing? No hot dogs and stuff? No? No? I'm gonna make you some anyways, but I'll give you this in the meantime. 1 second, guys. Let me give this kid this thingy. But yeah, I started cussing God, telling God, acting like God didn't know. It's Kawaii, I know. Kawaii, like God didn't know what He was doing. And
Remember, you get me a Tim Martin donut?
you want me to drive to Tim Martins now? God of Jesus.
Tim Martin donut.
Okay, give me a few. Because your chest is very high. Jesus. No, sir. Anyways, yes, sis. God has a plan for me. Damien, I appreciate you too. Absolutely appreciate you. But yeah. I was I thought like I was jumping in God's face and God had to humble me. But I remember this specific incident where this so-called friend of mine, I thought she was an older woman. At the time I was 35. She was maybe like 44, something like that. But she called me the morning when my then husband died, and she said to me, "Is it true?" And I said yes. When I was bawling, like I said, and she said to me, "Yeah, you pick them. I go suffer now." For those of you who does not understand Patois, she said that my kids and I are gonna suffer. She's like, "We can't see like what she said." She's like, "Yes, so now gonna become welfare, baby. You have to go up on welfare, meaning I have to go and apply for welfare, and they're not gonna come to nothing." She's like, "We're gonna suffer. We're gonna be living off of welfare, this, that, and the third." And when she said that to me, honestly, I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't, like I just took it like that. I cussed her out. I called her every name in the book. And then she couldn't stand me cussing her out, so she hung the phone up. But then she started to text me on Facebook, telling me this and telling me that. Everything that she said before, she was confirming them. Welfare thing, my kids are gonna suffer. And she's like, "A babe, make your husband dead." Like, she was laughing, like, and I'm like, "You're laughing at somebody's death?" And she's like, "Oh, you killed him because he's a jellyback nigga." And I'm like, "Really?" So she was talking all kinds of things. And I remember I was on the bed bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, "God, now that he's dead," because usually when he was alive, I was the main breadwinner. So what I'll do is I'll come on, I'll go to work, and whenever he feels like it, he'll watch the kids. Sometimes he claims, I don't want to babysit no kids right now. I'm not gonna babysit your kids for you tomorrow." But that was okay. Sometimes he does it, and when he does it, he does an okay job. He comb their hair and everything. So I like that became my norm. I know that that's how he is, and I was okay with it then. Guys, like up the live, please. My first time. Just give me some likes. Even if what I'm saying makes no sense to you, give me a like before you go. Even if you're not planning to stay, give me a like or so before you go. Share it too if you can. I'll appreciate that. Interact with me in the comments. Like, please. Anyways, so at the time I'm like, maybe I have to go on welfare for real. Because of the fact that I have no family here in Canada. Who's gonna watch my kids? The only person I had here in Canada was him. My sister had come up in 2018, so I'm like, she just came up. I'm like, I cannot burden her down with my kid because she needs to, you know, go out there and make life on her own. Like, I don't want to trap her with my kids. So I started crying, and I was on the bed crying, and I was talking to God, and I'm like, God, why would you do this? Why couldn't you fix him? I thought you said you are God and you can do everything. Then how could you not do this? And I was just there talking to God and saying things that I'm not supposed to say. Thank you, sis. My first time live. I don't know. God's been telling me since yesterday to come live this morning. I wasn't gonna, but I decided to do so before Deshaun wakes up. Anyways, and I was talking to God, and I'm like, honestly, I think I blasphemed a time or two because I'm like, I'm not ever gonna claim God no more. I'm like, me, if I go back in a church, me, to be a Christian, when you couldn't even show me what you can do. I'm like, you didn't even give him a chance to turn around and be a good father to his kids. And I started cussing God. When I say I was cussing, I mean I was cussing. And I remember while I was there cussing and bawling. The thing is, too, let me just put this right in here. You see, whenever we turn our backs on God, one thing God never does, and that's turn his back on us. God never turns his back on us. I remember God was doing me a favor, and I didn't even realize he was doing me a favor. Because the favor that God, what I wanted God to do for me, wasn't what God wanted to do for me. What I wanted God to do for me wasn't fit for me, but I couldn't see it at the time. Yes, sis, restoration is needed. Like, I am still not 100% healed. I am still broken because sometimes when I remember my past, it brings me to tears, and I realize that I still need to be healed, not just for me, but for myself. Hey, Carrie. Anyways, so I was like, I told God what I wanted him to do. And I wasn't willing to allow God to do what he sees fit to do. And I remember the night when my then husband died, I had the baby, and I remember it was text. He left 2 weeks before that. He left the house 2 weeks before that. But the 2 weeks that he was gone, he was sending me text messages, laughing at me, asking me if I'm suffering because I did a C-sec. That was my fourth C-section. My sixth child, but fourth C-sec. And I was in pain. So I remember it was a struggle for me to go up the stairs. And he wasn't there to help me. And I remember I had the 1-year-old going up the stairs that night. And I had the baby in my arm. So when I was coming up the stairs, the 1-year-old wanted me to pick him up because he wasn't able to climb the stairs on his own. But I was like, I cannot pick you up. And he was bawling his eyes out. Anyways, we made it to the top of the stairs. We went in my room. Now, my bed, for those of you who knows me personally, you're encouraging another sister who needs to hear this. True, sis. True. And I really hope someone is being encouraged. Anyways, I got to the room. When I got to my room, everybody who knows me, Francine, you know how high my bed is. The baby couldn't climb up on the bed. So it was my duty to pick him up. So I had the newborn in my arm. I was in pain from the C-section, so all I could do is just roll him over on the bed, which I did. Then I had the 1-year-old who wanted to go up. Now I cannot pick him up because I was in pain. So I kind of did a little thing. You know, us mothers, how we are sometimes. We're like superhuman beings. We sometimes, I don't know, we're just different. Mothers are just different. Sometimes we'll make a way where there is no way. You know what I mean? I kind of stoop down like and kind of use if I had something to hold the phone, the kids mess up my phone stand, but I don't, so I can't even show you what I did. But I rolled him over on the bed. True, sis, I hope someone is encouraged, honestly. I hope it does. I hope someone who is going through this sees this live. So I picked him up, rolled him on the bed. Now, when I was supposed to go on my own bed, I couldn't go up because it was so too high. So I had a stool in my room and I kind of stepped up on the stool, trying to push myself onto the bed. By me doing that, it kind of ripped the, what is it? The, what should I, what then call it? Help me somebody, please. The stitches. It kind of ripped it out. So when I felt that like it was painful, so when I felt like something popped, and I'm like, Jesus. And I kind of fold my, like, held my belly, like, And I remember went in the mirror and I could see, like, stuff poking out. I could see that it's open. Anyways, I rolled myself onto the top of the bed and I went there in pain and I was lying down and I said to God, I was like, God, I didn't want 6 kids because I started, like I said, retaliating too before he died. I'm like, God, that night when he died, I was actually retaliating. I'm like, God, I didn't want 6 kids for this guy. I love kids. Don't get me wrong, I love kids. But I didn't want 6 kids for him because he was no help to me. And I'm like, God, I tied my tube and you still let me get pregnant. I'm like, even with my tubes tied, I still got pregnant. You couldn't stop that. And now he's out there having fun, living his best life. And I am here suffering with babies. Can't do nothing, can't even take care of them the way I should as a mother. How can I, like, what's the point in having kids if you can't take care of them? And I'm there, I was just talking to God, and I remember while lying on the bed, I told my friends them from the morning off. I told my sister and everybody everything that occurred that night. And I said, God, I just want this to end. And I remember the specific word I used, you said was, part my Red Sea. If you did it for the children of Israel and you parted their Red Sea, I said, you need to part my Red Sea. I said, give him to anybody. I just want him to find somebody because every time he leaves for a month or two or a week or two or a day or two, and he's gone and he's living his best life and then he comes back when he feels like it. And it's just like my life felt like it was just stagnant. It wasn't going anywhere. I was just limited to right this corner right here. I felt trapped. And I'm like, God, I'm tired of this. If you are God of Daniel, God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, God of the Israelites, I said, part my Red Sea tonight. And I kid you not, I heard the voice say, fix it or part it. When I heard that, I ran into, my sister was there the night. That I didn't want my first child, so my parents mostly raised because I wasn't ready to be a mother. Right, sis, right. I understand that. I understand that. Guys, please like up the live. Please give me some love if what I'm talking makes sense or if it's encouraging any at all. Anyways, but but sis, I know you love your child now, right? But at that time you weren't ready. But back to the story now. I heard the voice say, fix it or part it. And when I looked on, I'm like, fix it. I'm like, maybe God's talking about the marriage. But when I looked on everything that I've been through, it was like, it was so hard for me to forgive him. I couldn't forgive him. And then some of the things that he did, he never really truly apologized. I did not feel like he truly apologized for them. So I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. I was just bitter. Like I was just bitter against him. And I went in my sister's room and I said, Lisa, I was just praying a while ago, and I just tell God to part the Red Sea because I'm tired of this dysfunctional relationship. I'm tired of him out there having fun, smoking weed, drinking, playing video games with his friends, just go clubbing and having the time of his life. And I'm stuck, so I want to be out of this relationship. I want to start fresh. And I asked God to part the Red Sea, and I heard a voice say, "Fix it or part it." And Lisa said to me, "But so every time I hear God talk to you, every time you hear God talk to you, it is what it is. Like, it's always him. I don't see why you're doubting. Like, just think before you reply, because that's God talking to you. And I said, yeah, I know it's God, but I'm like, I don't want this. I want him to part it. I don't want nothing fixed. I want him to part it. And I went back to my room. And when I went back to my room, um, when I got to the door, I said, God, part it. And for some reason, I heard death in my, like in the back of my head. I said, God, your mother? I'm like, are you crazy, God? You cannot kill the father of my kids. I don't want him, but my kids needs him. I'm like, I didn't ask you to do that. I asked you to part it. I said, find anybody, find even a crackhead. If I find anybody, I'm just telling you, being honest and telling you what I told God. I'm not gonna filter. So I'm like, even a crackhead, just find somebody, give him to. Let that person fall in love with him. Because he was an handsome guy. Maybe that's why I didn't even want to let him go. He was pretty, he was sweet. And I'm like, fine. At that time, I didn't even see his outer beauty. All I could see is just a monster. To me, at least. But to the kids, he was their everything. They loved him. Still do. And I remember I said, God, you can't do that. I never ask you if you do that. And while I was saying that, it's like I heard a voice say, like, who are you to tell God what to do? And that's when I repented. Like, I catch myself and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Jesus. Because I don't want to fly up in God's face, right? So I'm like, Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys, I'm sick. And I said to God, I'm like, God, you know what? Let your will be done. And I went to bed. And when I went to bed and I was lying there on the bed, I heard when he came home, and I thought my prayers were answered. I heard him walking up the stairs. My friends who are on the live now knows that I told them that from day one. I heard him come. I heard when he took his clothes off, dropped the pants on the floor, they buckled it the flooring, and he came in and he hugged me. And I was playing hard, like I was still mad at him, so I wasn't giving him no time of day. My back was turned, and he hugged me, like kind of spooned me from behind. And I was mad, so I did not do nothing. I didn't flinch. And then when I did that, he was just still hugging me. And then I kind of remember, like, I kind of felt good. The hug kind of felt good. So I went like this. This is me on my couch. So I went like this. His legs were over me like this. So I used my hand to kind of like pat him on his leg. When I did this, it fell into thin air. And honestly, I've never had an experience like that. Never. So I jumped up and I sat in the bed and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what just happened? So I ran in my sister's room once again and I knocked her up. And she said, what, man? And I said, something is wrong with Karen. She said, what? I said, maybe his spirit left his body or something. Because I dozed off. I wasn't even sleeping. I just prayed and lied down, and I felt I heard when he was coming up the stairs. And when he came in and took his clothes off, and then I said, he hugged me, came on the bed. I felt when the bed sunk when he came in, and he hugged me. And then when I did this, nothing. So Lisa said, maybe something is wrong with him then. I'm like, maybe. So I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to call and call his friend, or his phone or whatever, see if he's okay. If not, I'll go see him wherever he's at. Then, by the time I got back to my room, I got a message from his sister. She's like, this girl sent me a message. And she's like, I don't know who this girl is. She doesn't even look straight. She's like, I don't want these type of people messaging me. But she's like, she said the girl said Karen is not well. And I was like, what happened to him? And they said that he's at the hospital. And I said, okay, well, you know what? My 6 kids are here, so I'm going back to bed. Because I'm like, you were supposed to shoot Deshaun's up. I'm like, you were supposed to be here with us. What the hell? Hey, papi. Hey, papi. How long have you been up? What's the face? Say hi. Say hi to everybody. So, yes, guys, um, I was like, my kids are home. I even sent a message to his sister saying, my kids are here. And I took a picture of the kids in bed because they're all in my bed. I'm like, my kids are here where they're supposed to be. If he was here, it would have been okay. Like, I'm not going to chase nobody's son. And the following morning, I heard a banging on my door. When I went down, it was my neighbor asking me if she could come in. And I said, what are you going to tell me? Karen's dead? She's like, just open the door. Can I just open the door and let me in if I can? Please. And I'm like, okay. So I let her in and she came in and she's like, you want to go pee? Because I was kind of, doing because I really wanted to pee and I was doing the little twisting thing. And I said, yes. She's like, okay, go use the washroom and come back. I did that, came back. She's like, sit down. I'm like, Tori, tell me, what's wrong? She's like, T, sit. And I sat down and she's like, I'm not sure how true it is, but I saw it on Facebook. I saw everybody writing RIP on, such man's page. And I'm like, no. So I called his phone, no answer. And honestly, the first impression, like when I just heard, it was like a relief. Like I'm like a burden came off of me. I don't know how to explain it, man. But I'm like, you were trying to hurt me, constantly trying to hurt me, and look what you ended up doing. You ended up hurting yourself. Cause I'm like, if you were here, you would have been better taken care of. Cause he was having seizures, and nobody called the ambulance. I heard until after the third seizure. And I'm like, if he was at home, the first seizure he had, I would have called the ambulance. Like I wouldn't have hesitated one bit because I wanted him to live for his kids. And then after I went through that phase wherein I was like, thank God, nobody here to torment me or torture me no more and whatever. Then I went into a phase wherein I was saying to myself, how evil are you? How could you be thanking God when this happened? And I started to kind of hate myself. One second, guys, let me share the live. Someone's calling me, let me share it with her. I'm back now, guys. So yeah, I'm like, I went through a phase wherein I felt relieved at first. Then I got angry at myself for feeling relieved, and I started hating myself, cursing out myself, telling myself how evil I was and how bad of a person I was. Then I went through the phase wherein I was blaming him. I'm like, he is pretty much to be blamed for his demise, not me. But the worst phase I went through was me blaming myself. I was like, I should have gone to his friend's house. He was my husband. I should have gone to his friend's house and get him. I should have tried to pick him up. I should have called him. I should have begged him to come home. I should have this. And I'm like, it's my kid's father. I should have done more for him. And that phase literally lasts maybe over a year or more. Maybe, no, 2 years or more. I blamed myself for the longest while. And I remember one time Bishop came there shortly after he died, a week after he died, and the bishop said, God, guys, I hate this so much. This is what I got from the first marriage, by the way. This right here. This little long story. But yeah, I have been hating it since then because I wasn't born this way. Anyways, the bishop came to me and the bishop said, stop blaming yourself because God saw conversations you didn't. Or God heard conversations you didn't. God saw stuff you didn't. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, don't say nothing bad about him. And the bishop was like, in time, what's up, baby? In time, you will see what I'm talking about. And my dear, it was such a busy morning, but I'm here. Alrighty, mother, thank you for joining. Yeah, so I was like, you know what? This, what are you talking about? God shouldn't do this and God shouldn't do that, but You want your bottle? Let me go get it. And I was like, um, God shouldn't do this. That's not what I asked God to do. Like, why would God do this instead of that, you know? And then it was after a while I kinda understand what Bishop was talking about, because when I went and get his phone from his friends and I started going through those messages, that was when my healing. No, I got the phone from his friends almost 2 months after, because they didn't want to give it to me. I had to like literally argue to get the phone. Yes, your husband is awake and greedy too. So yes, they didn't want to give me the phone. But when I got the phone, I remember my sister saying to me, "Don't go in the phone." But for some reason, it's like I was tempted. Papi, don't do this now, please. For some reason, I was tempted, you know? Guys, can you give me 1 minute to take this call? 1 minute. 1 second, I mean. I am back, guys. Anyways, God is good, Aston. Yeah, God is certainly good. So, yes. So, every time I go and come back, somebody gone. But, like I said, guys, I was like, you know what? I have to go through the phone. My sister took the phone at one point and she had it because she didn't want me to go through. But for some reason, something on the inside. Thank you, sis, and have a great day at work too. And I was like, I have to go through the phone. I don't know why, but I just have to go through the phone. Guys, please like the live. Please. I'm spitting some gems right now. I'm getting personal. Anyways, I'm like, I have to go in his phone. And I remember I opened the phone and I went in the phone, because usually when he leaves the house and he comes back home, there's always no messages. So I'm like, oh, maybe he was just out with his boys for a month or two. I'm like, he's not doing nothing. He's just a good, maybe because he had an alcohol problem. I am like, you know what? Maybe it's because he wants to drink. That's the reason why he left. But I'm like, it's no girl thing or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, because his phone is always clean. But this time, he wasn't able to clean his phone. And when I went in the phone, I saw a message between him and my cousin. And I read the message and it goes something like this. He was like, bro, I'm tired, yo. Your cousin is not the same. She's changing. Remember, I used to put up with him. He'll do anything. He'll leave the house for 3 months, a month sometimes, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time. I'll take him back, and every time he leaves, I used to be calling him or texting him, bawling to him, begging him to come back home, telling him that me and the kids needs him because we have nobody here. He was the only person. I'm like, you brought me here and then you're gone. What am I supposed to do? I have no friends, no family here. But after a while, it's like God started comforting me, you know? And good morning, Janoy. And I started feeling comforted, you know? So I stopped calling him. And 2019 was when I put up, like, I kind of put myself back on a pedestal. I started to think of myself highly again. I started to think, you know what? There's no point in chasing this. I started telling myself, you know what? I am actually married to myself, you know? And I'm like, what's the point in being married to yourself? Might as well I just live by myself. And guys, I decided that I'm going to like create boundaries. And I realized that you see, whenever you start to add boundaries, people won't like you. And because I told him 2019, I'm not taking you back again. That last time he left, I said, I'm not taking you back. And I meant it. Thank you, Janoy. I'm glad somebody loves listening. And I'm like, I'm not taking you back this time. I'm done. He messaged my cousin and he's like, yo, bro, please like up the live, guys, if you haven't yet. And if you have, I absolutely appreciate you. So I'm like, he messaged my cousin. He's telling my cousin that, Yo, my cousin said, no, she just had a baby, so maybe you should just go home. Don't even, if she's not a good person anymore, because I wasn't talking. Everything I went through, I kept it to myself. I never told my family or nobody what I was going through. I didn't tell my family down back in Jamaica. The few that came here, I didn't tell them. It was just me and them against the world. That's what I had in my head. That's what I thought. And I remember I read the message, and he was telling my cousin if he goes back home, he's gonna snap and he's not gonna leave anybody, no stone unturned, blah blah blah. What he's gonna do? And I'm like, so you were really planning to come back and unalive me for not wanting to put up with you no more? And that's when what Bishop had said to me came back in my head. I'm like, Jesus Christ, blood of Jesus, what's your problem, baby? Oh, you're yawning. Yo, this kid is something else. I'm like, what Bishop said makes sense. Because Bishop said, God heard conversations. You didn't. He said, God just put this in me to tell you. He heard conversations you didn't. And he's seen stuff that you haven't. And I'm like, this makes sense. Because if you're failing to see that you are the problem, and because I set boundaries for the first time, all you can think about is hurting me, taking me out for standing up for myself. He knows, he knows something is here. Hey, babe. Yeah, and I'm like, Bishop was right. And then I finished read that, and then I went to another message. And when I was reading through the messages, this guy died recently. This rapper, what's his name? Lucas. And I was on the shade room the other day. Yes, you can share though. There's a lot. You're sharing, but you want to give him like he's a baby. He's older than you, Kawai. He can take it too. Jesus. So yes, I was. God, thank you, bro. Oh, auntie. Yeah, you know, auntie's here. So yeah, and I went on the shade room, and this girl was talking about Lucas, the rapper. Lucas, what's his last name? I don't remember his last name, but he died. He killed himself, I think, last week, and his ex-girlfriend was like, everybody was blaming her, like they did me, and she came out with a video, crying and saying that you don't know what he put me through. Because everybody's talking about he's a very handsome man, like my ex-husband, very handsome. All the girls fancied him. So they're all talking about her killing him or whatever. And she's like, you don't know what that man put me through. And when she state the fact that she didn't get closure, she going through his phone is kind of giving her closure. I remember that's what kind of gave me closure too. Because when I started going through his phone when he died, it's like who I thought he was an absolute different person than I thought he was, you know? And honestly, guys, I didn't come on here to talk, you know. I came on here to take the mirrors down. See what I did to the wall? I don't know who in the comment section wants to help me, but I was trying to take the mirrors down off of the wall, and I made a complete mess. And there I have some knives. I have a machete. See the machete there? Right. So that's what I came on here to do. But see there? Lord Jesus, me gonna work. No, Sunday open. All right. See you on Sunday. So yes, when I went through his phone, that's how I got my closure, you know? But you know what, guys, to be honest, my sister was against it. A lot of people, my friends were against me going through the phone, but that's what helped me to start my healing journey. Like I said to somebody earlier, I am not fully healed, but with God and time, I know I will be. You know, because there is nothing that God cannot do. He is my Jehovah overdue. When God shows up for me, He shows up and He shows out. You understand? So I know that God has a plan for my life and He's gonna do a new thing in me. And guys, I don't know if I should end this live or keep going. Tell me, what should I do? End it now? Because maybe y'all want to go. And I've been on here for 55 minutes. I haven't done anything to the wall. I'm gonna do it. What I did, guys, was I'm kind of using the knife to kind of loosen the tape and then take them off. But so I'm gonna do that after. So maybe I should end it now. But what I'm trying to say is, I did a video. One of my most watched video is the one. I think it's at 1.2k view. 1.2 in the YouTube studio. It's more than that, but on the page it's 1.2 view, 2k views, and that's the video of us lip syncing the song "Fix It For Me." And honestly, when we were doing that song, I was literally in my heart telling God, asking God to fix it for me, because I am not yet healed, eh? I am still in the healing process. I am still on the table. I'm still on the operating table. I'm still at the potter's house. I am not ready to be released yet. I'm not back on the market per se yet. I'm still the in the potter's house. But when we were doing that song, I was literally asking God to fix it for me, because I'm like, God, I have been going through I've been going through stuff my entire life, and I'm like, when I look back, as far as I can remember, everything that I've ever wanted, I have to fight hard for. And I see people just start doing the same thing that I'm doing and they just excel. And I'm like, even when I put my everything in it, I have to fight double hard to get it. And it wasn't until a few weeks ago I heard the Spirit talking to me, the Spirit of God talking into my spirit, the Holy Ghost talking into my spirit, telling me that a child of God, some are called, right? Some of us are called, some of us are chosen. If you are chosen, don't expect anything to be easy on you. Then I went on, I think, I don't remember which social media platform, and they said that every woman, Kawaii question, every woman in the Bible that was dear to God, they all had a story. Martha had hers. Mary had hers. You know, Rahab, is that her name? Had hers. Everybody in the Bible, Esther had hers. Ruth had hers. Naomi had hers. So everybody that's chosen for God will have a hard time with everything in this world. But the good thing is, there's going to be one set of footprint in the sand, and that one set will be God carrying us. No matter how hard it gets, God will be carrying us. Sit right there and don't move. So, like I said, like even with my YouTube channel, before I came out of that marriage, I said, God, if you get me out alive, because at one point I was willing to die, like I didn't care if the only reason why I wanted to live, they shall know, the only reason why I wanted to live was because I'm like, my kids, if I should die, what's going to happen to my kids? I wanted to live for my kids. So I begged God to spare me. And I said, God, if you take me out of this marriage alive, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to do makeup. And I heard a voice say, no, testimony. And I'm like, yes, God. Because sometimes, we like telling God what we want God to tell us to do. So that was me telling God what I wanted Him to tell me to do. So I'm like, God, I'm going to do testimony, but I'm going to do makeup too. And my father's children, let me tell you this. I'm calling you my father's children because we are all God's children. Let me tell you this. I started off doing the makeup. And when I tell you that I was good at the makeup thing, like I'm lit in the makeup game, I couldn't grow. And then I started seeking God, and I started saying, God, help me now, because everything I have to struggle for. And I heard a voice say, do testimony. I'm like, God, if I start testifying and talking, people are going to look at me away. People are going to laugh at me. People are going to be like, oh, she went through that? Oh, she wasn't living any life. She was not happy in that marriage. And I was trying to not have people say that about me, because I'm like, I don't want them to think I wanted them to think I had a perfect life, you know? But God is not about that. God wanted people to see what He did for me. Because I didn't have a perfect life, but God got me out. And if I had kept that story to myself, y'all would have been thinking, oh, she was married and it was perfect, and then, or she was the problem in the last marriage, and blah, blah, blah. But God said, no, tell my people what I did for you. But I kept on doing my makeup. I'm like, God, I'm not ready for the testimony. And for 1 year straight, I think I got maybe like 5 subscribers. And I have to be begging people to subscribe. The following year, God said, do it. I didn't do it. I maybe got just a little bit too. But the moment I put my first testimony out and I started turning this channel down the channel that God wants it to go, yeah. I started channeling my channel down this route. That's when I started getting subscribers. And I'm like, God, is this what you want me to do? You want me to make this about you? But somebody said to me last night in on my comment section, the person said, sis, start obeying God. The moment you start obeying God is when, I don't remember exactly what she said, but in my own words, the moment I start obeying God, that's when God's going to open the floodgates of blessings. That's in my own word. But people, I'm just starting saying this to say that I realize that me can't do nothing without God. I cannot do a thing without God. Every time God tells me to do something and I decide to do my thing, it never works. If you came on the live, just give me a like. If you're gonna leave, just give me a like and then you leave, please. Or a share and then you leave, please. I'm gonna end it in 2, 3, 1 seconds, just another minute, and I'm out of here. But just like it. If you just came coming in, please like it. I'm just trying to see if I can see who is on. YouTube doesn't give me that option. It's my first time going live. I don't know. But my channel started. I remember seeing other people collabing and other people getting help from, friends and everybody to build their channel. Me now, I don't have friends like that. I am like an outcast. And I was like, God, nobody likes me. I don't do nothing. I always, like, I'll kill you with laughter. I'll have my sister was talking about that too the other day. In one of her what is it, vlogs. She was saying that I need to stop that. That's my downfall. I will give away everything. I will go on social media and see a person posting that they're in need of this or in need of that, and I once there's a number attached to it, me like an idiot will just message the number and say, hey, I will help you. And that's just how I am. And I realize that a lot of times I get hurt because of who I am. But like I said, guys, the moment I decided that, God, you take the lead. I wanted you to lead me. And I'm like, God, I cannot do this because I have nobody else to help me. And God told me that one day what to do. God was like, I went to church this Sunday and I did the Fix It For Me video. Uploaded to my TikTok. The Monday, I was on 3 days fasting. The Monday night of the fasting, which was I think second night, sorry, of the fasting, I heard a voice say, the video that you put on TikTok, upload it to YouTube. And I'm like, no, that don't make no sense. And God was like, upload it. So I did. Didn't put a title or nothing. I just uploaded it and left it in unlisted. Then the Tuesday I was cooking and I heard a voice say, the video that you uploaded last night, post it now. And this is what you're going to title it. Something about struggle. I don't remember what the title was. And I titled it and God said post it, and I posted it right away. But after I posted it, I'm like, God, that title doesn't make sense. struggling, like it doesn't make sense. And I was gonna change it, and like I heard something, a stern voice talking into my spirit, eh? The stern voice said, leave it. Don't you dare touch it. And I left it. The following day, I just saw people started subscribing. People started subscribing. I'm like, God. And like before that, let me put this in. I heard a voice, the same voice, when the voice told me to post it, and I posted, and I said that the caption, the title didn't make sense. I heard the voice say, are you gonna allow God to lead? If you allow God to lead, watch me take you from point A to point B in 0.2 seconds. And that's exactly what God did. And since then, sometimes I don't listen because I'm still not there yet. Sometimes when I hear the Spirit speaks to me, I'm like, God, really, you are telling me this? Is it you that's talking to me, or is it my mind? You know? So I'm still not there yet, but I'm trying to get there. But like I said, yesterday I heard it talking into my spirit, go live today, go live. I don't know why. And I wasn't gonna come live. I woke up to get the kids to school, and I was tired, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get some rest before the babies wake up. But something said go live. So I went in and I showered, and here I am. And before I go, let me leave this with you. God doesn't give up on his people. As a child of God, you don't fight your own battles. God fight them for you. Psalms 35 says, plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me, and fight against them that fight against me. There is nothing that God cannot do. There is no wound that God cannot heal. There is no sickness. There is no death sentence that God cannot cancel. God can renew your strength any day and restore your joy. If you're homeless, God can restore you. If you're hungry, God will send destiny helpers to feed you. Remember Elisha. Was it Elisha or Elijah? Remember how he got fed when he went into hiding? The same way God did it for them then, God will do it for you. All we have to do is to talk to God. Guys, I'm going to go now, guys, because they're getting talkative. But all we have to do is just to talk to God like you're talking to your friend. Remember, friendship with Jesus, fellowship divine. Oh, what blessed sweet communion. Jesus is a friend of mine. So God will hear you, and God will heal you where it hurts. I am still getting healed. And I can tell you that I'm not healed yet, but I can feel God doing a new thing in me every day. Thanks for your testimony. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Damien, and thank you so much for chilling with me. And yes, but Damien, even you, God's gonna restore your strength and restore your joy and renew your strength. God's gonna do a new thing in you. You have no idea where God's gonna take you. You know, we grew up together. I just want you to know that God's got you, and God's gonna restore you, and God's gonna make you the head and not the tail. You're gonna be above only, and you will never be beneath. You know what I mean? You're gonna lend and not borrow. Deuteronomy 28, that's your scripture today, Damien. He's always working, exactly. And I'm here for you to encourage you and tell you that you don't have no idea. See the blessing we God have in store for you, Damien? Holy. You're gonna call me and you're like, T, how did you know this? I know because God always have a plan for his people. Anyways, guys, thank you all for joining me this morning. I thought I was gonna come on here and feel lonely. It's not a lot of you lot of you guys, but the one or two that's on here, 3 or 4, you guys made me feel comfortable. I was never comfortable in front of cameras because of my imperfections. But for some reason I felt comfortable chilling with y'all today. God bless you. I love you, and thank you so much for being in my corner this morning. See you maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know. Whatever God says, I will do, but I'll see you soon again. Bye for now. And I don't know how to end this live. Just give me a little time. I'm just learning. God Almighty. Have a blessed day, sis. Have a blessed day too, sis. Thank you so much for joining. I know you're at work, but I appreciate you joining. Okay. I'm gone now.